Welcome everyone to my first review of a 1-to-1 scale car. Most of my reviews are around model cars, so this is a new thing for me to do, a full-size car. I've currently got 4 cars. I've got a Vauxhall Astra Coupe, that's a show car. I've got a Vauxhall Corsa B, it's also a show car. I've got a Chevrolet Aveo that my wife uses, and I've got this car, which is my latest purchase, which is a 2001 Renault Megane Authentique. I bought that 1 month ago. Sorry, no, I didn't buy it 1 month ago. 2 months ago. There we go, memory's not serving me too well. 2 months ago I got it. Got it from eBay. I'll tell you a bit more about that later. So this video review, obviously it's going to be different from a model car, as I can actually drive the thing. So we'll be doing that. We'll do a quick walk round of the outside. It'll be quick because, bearing in mind, I live in Cumbernauld, and somebody walking around talking to themselves, actually that probably wouldn't look too out of place in Cumbernauld. So anyway, we'll be doing a quick walk around of the outside as well, and we'll take it for a quick drive, and we'll also do a quick interior review, look at some of the instruments and some of the features of the car. So what we'll do is we'll start off by having a quick exterior review of the car, and then we'll have a quick drive. So here we go. The car's in pretty good condition for its age. It's 15 years old. There's not too much on it. A few dents, apologies for it not being very clean. I've got no access to my garage at the moment because there's building materials in front of it. There's a couple of chip there. A bit dark, my apologies, it's not clean. I don't like cars not being clean. Scratch there. Wheel arches are in good condition. Normally these cars tend to go quite badly around the wheel arches. Around the back, nothing too major. There's only a tiny wee bubble in one of these wheel arches. In fact, I can't even see it now, it's just coming through it, just there. There's a couple of dents and things down the side, but it's not too bad. Cleaned it all up inside. Got new mats out of TK Maxx. Cleaned up pretty well. The Renault Megane was produced from 1995 until, okay, I was not where he was going there, 1995 until 2002, and it was based on the old Renault 19 platform, all the same chassis, suspension, everything, just had more rounded corners and 16 valve engines. The car is still a typically French car. It's quite a soft ride, soft seats. In fact, I would call them chairs rather than seats. And the engine is, despite its small size, for 1.4 litres, actually gives really good performance. I think it's got about 99 brake horsepower. It's also very quiet. I'm used to driving a 3-cylinder Vauxhall Corsa, 16 years old, and this is like a Rolls Royce in comparison. So this particular car is the Authentique model, it's the base model in the range. It's still well equipped, as you'll see later in the video, and it certainly does me. So just going back to the Vauxhall Corsa that I had, I still have, I've had that for 6 years. and it was proving very unreliable this year, but I had spent quite a bit of money on it. So what I decided to do was, didn't want to expose it to another winter of saltiness, so I decided that I would get myself, stick a cover over it and get myself a winter run around. Didn't want to pay too much money for the car, looking for it to last me till about March, April time, whenever, and then I would just decide what to do with it at that point, but it would keep my other cars good. So I started looking around, and one of my friends put me onto this advert on eBay for this Renault Megane, which was, bidding was already underway in it, but it was only £100 and it's 7 months MOT. So I thought, oh, it looks really good, thanks for that. So I decided to put in a bid for it. My friend pointed out that he reckoned it would go for a final bid price of around about £150. So I put a max bid in of 162, so it looked worth a punt. And I was on holiday at the time, so I probably had a few beers, and I won it. So 7 months MOT, so I thought, right, how bad can it be? So the car was located not far away in Port Seaton, just the other side of Edinburgh. So that was just a quick train and bus journey for myself. Turned up, handed over the money, bought it blind, so car I'd bought it, so I had no right to be test driving it or anything like that, so just took it away. Got me to the end of the street, it got me home, then it worked for a couple of weeks, and it worked for a few weeks more, and I thought, actually, this isn't bad. Hadn't seen a wash for several years, I don't think, and inside was very dirty as well, but cleaned it up inside and out, and it got the approval of neighbours, my father, mother, and most importantly my wife, whose words were, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that car at all. So that was good. Didn't like the colour though, that doesn't matter. So despite its mileage, which is probably average for its age, 155,000, drove very well, and I thought, you know what, this is worth spending a little bit of money on. As I know, Renaults don't like to have extended timing belt service intervals, they tend to snap them. So I thought, right, I'll get the timing belt changed, water pump, tensioners. The radiator had a slight weep as well, which I could probably have lived with, but the cold winter's coming up, so I decided just to get that changed out as well. So I did all that, and it's worked fine ever since. So it really was a gamble, and I would say to anybody who is buying a cheap runaround car, never spend more than you can afford to lose. So I'll get the timing belt changed. One of the other reasons I got it done was because the car was so cheap to start off with. I thought even getting the timing belt changed at a garage, it's still going to only stand me at, I think it's £480 a car stands me at all in. That's including an oil change as well, new cooling and everything else as well. So it's a fairly ordinary car by anyone's standards. I've never owned a Renault. It's also a big thing for me to get a car that's gamble with a car that's, you know, such a low price. How does it drive? Well, 1.4 litre, 99 brake, 16 valve. It's actually very quick. One of my other cars is a 1.8 litre Astra, and it compares actually quite favourably to that. The Astra's only 23 brake horsepower more than this, so it actually compares very favourably. The suspension's not as soft as you would expect of a really old school French car, but it is still softer than standard, particularly good over speed humps, particularly the back suspension. There's not a lot of weight over the car, you can sometimes get a jolt when you're coming off a speed hump, a lot of them around my area, but it's really not bad at all. Goes around corners okay, stops okay. The only thing that I would say is really wrong with it is it doesn't really like going from fourth to third when the car's stone cold. It tends to crunch. Synchro mesh is probably a bit worn, but after driving it for a couple of minutes, it's absolutely fine. But for £160, you really can't complain. I'm really quite pleased with it. I'd never considered a French car before. But there you go. Still like my Vauxhalls also. You'll see a couple of reviews on them when they come back out for the summer. And there we go. Can hardly hear the engine at all. The only thing you can hear in the car sometimes is the gearbox, and I've put that down to it's being a unit that's carried over from the Renault 5, Renault 9 and Renault 11, so it's slightly audible in some gears, but it doesn't, I think that's just the age of it. A couple of other people have mentioned that that's the case as well. It's a fairly well spec'd car for being the basic model in the range, and even for 2001. There's a couple of things on it which surprised me that it had when I got it. First one being, it's got variable intermittent light, so you can have it going on to intermittent when you pull at a junction. It's got volume controls for the radio, which is pretty decent. It's also got another feature up there. It's not illuminated at the moment. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. Yep, but when you start the engine, go over 5 miles an hour, the doors automatically lock like you would have in a taxi, so that's a pretty decent feature as well. Old fashioned cassette player, AC/DC tape there, waiting to be played. One of the things I like about this radio, takes a couple of minutes to come on, is it plays in black and white as well as colour, which I really like. Power steering, all sort of basic features, ashtray, 12-volt power point. One of the things about the car you'll notice is when you're sitting at the steering wheel, these buttons here are completely obscured, and one of the things that annoys me about it is when you're pulling on the motorway, somebody lets you out and you go to thank them, you end up just getting the heated rear window. But apart from that, drives pretty well. So what we'll do now is we'll take it for a quick spin. I always like a car too that's got all of its documentation in terms of factory documentation. Sadly it came with no useful pieces of service history, but that doesn't matter now, I've sorted that out. So one of the things it came with were all the booklets. Wow. It was a pretty cool thing having a cassette player again. I could relive my younger years. So we've got all the books that came with the car, and going back to 2001, it's actually it's slightly fun going back all that way and seeing how things have changed. Driver's handbook, quite like looking at those things, and that's for another day. What's that we've got? Service book, as expected, only goes up to about 2005 for the car. You know, I've sorted that. Some safety advice. The National Protection Register, I have absolutely no idea what that is. If anybody knows what that is or was, please leave a comment. Vehicle replacement insurance protection. I don't think I'd be insured for that anymore. RACE, the Renault UK promise. Your vehicle in brief. It's pretty decent illustrations there, I always like that. That's quite nice actually. The Renault towing guide. We'll be doing that. Renault customer care package. And the radio guide as well. So that's all pretty good. So I bought this car from a girl in Port Seaton, and she'd only had it for about a year, and previous to that she had been owned by her partner's mother, so it had been lady owned by her right back from 2003. The lady lived in Huddersfield, I think, or no, Selby. So the car had been registered in Yorkshire and stayed there most of its life, and been owned by the same person for most of its life, and she's looked after it fairly well. Unfortunately, no service history, and when I looked at the coolant tank, it was empty because of the weep in the radiator, and the oil could be described as a stale black dribble of piss that looked like it had been in there for years. But not everyone services a car. On a plus point, the car had survived 155,000 miles with that level of maintenance, and I serviced it, put new oil coolant in it, and a little bit more as I'll describe later in the video, and it seems to run absolutely grand. So I think one of the secrets to buying a used car is low number of owners. That seems to count for something. So might be something to look for when you're taking a gamble on a cheap car.